Hey folks, welcome to another Legacy video. This is the big one out of Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths. This deck is the Gyruda Belcher deck that everyone was talking about off the spoiler. This is the most, I guess, like broken in a vacuum companion because theoretically you should win the game when you cast or when Gyruda resolves. Like within a reasonable distribution of probability. So what Gyruda does is if your deck contains only even converted mana costs, you can cast this from your sideboard once per game, and the deck does, in fact, have all even mana costs, including Gyruda itself. So you can play 3 in the main and the one in the sideboard for maximum consistency. And then when this enters the battlefield, each player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard, and you put a creature card with an even converted mana cost from among those cards onto the battlefield under your control. So, several important things to note there is that the card you get back has to come from the cards that were milled with Gyruda. So the 4 cards from your deck and the 4 cards from your opponent's deck, that's it. You can't get something that milled earlier. That's why there's not like one Thassa's Oracle in the deck to just get when we're ready. That doesn't work. Can't do that. And even more importantly, probably, is that the text of this is put a creature card with even converted mana cost from among those cards onto the battlefield under your control. It doesn't say from your graveyard anywhere. So things like Leyline of the Void and Rest in Peace don't interact with Gyruda. You can still, if the cards get exiled immediately, you still get to choose from among those cards to put something into play. Also, because this is all one ability, it mills the 4, then you immediately put one into play. So something like Tormod's Crypt or Surgical Extraction also doesn't interact with this combo. So this is a graveyard-based Reanimator Belcher combo deck that almost entirely ignores graveyard hate. Like, it's actually pretty messed up how well this card is designed to ignore all of the hate that is played in the format. I sort of made fun of this deck because I was like, oh, you want to be Belcher, but also just lose to every graveyard hate card and a removal spell. So I thought this was more fragile than normal, but ignoring graveyard hate totally changes the math on that. You still lose to Swords to Plowshares because if they respond to Gyruda's trigger by removing it from play, like Red Blast, Swords to Plowshares, any of the above will do, then your clone won't have anything to copy. And you basically just have to hope that you mill another Gyruda or a Kolagon to actually do anything. So this is a pretty fragile deck. It's all in on what it's trying to do, but that's how Belcher works. The actual card Goblin Charge Belcher is not in this deck. Belcher is just a nickname that I give to decks that try to win on turn 1 and are pretty bad against Force of Will, which this is. So let's go run this thing. Shouldn't take too long. Off we go. Alright, so we're on the draw for round 1. We reveal our companions after the die roll and before you draw your opening hand. Gyruda is my companion. So we have a turn 2 Gyruda with Cavern of Souls here. That's pretty good. It would be better on the play, but this dodges Force of Will. It's in a little bit of trouble to Leyline, but that's fine. Or not Leyline, Wasteland. Alright, should pop my companion out so it doesn't pop out on its own. So I think I want to lead on the city. As I believe that cavern is the more important I guess they played Ancient Tomb, so Cavern doesn't really matter. I probably should have led on Basic Island. Maybe I should have run my LED out there too. Like if they play like Trinisphere or something this turn, that would be bad for me. Tilt. I deserve that. So now we lose instead of win. Alright, mistakes were made. Okay, so already fucked this up, but I think we can salvage. It'll just take some time. Yeah, I did not adjust my information. I read my opening hand like we were in the dark, and then I did not adjust my information based on their first play, which was something of a fatal mistake. Thus, we'll just see if we get 2 more land drops or not. So while we're sitting here, I realized I forgot to explain how the combo actually works in the deck tech. So you mill clones off the top of your deck, and you clone Gyruda. Each time you clone Gyruda, you get to mill again. But Gyruda is a legend. So in order to get around that, Sakashima the Imposter and Spark Double are both 4-ofs in the deck. So Spark Double makes a non-legendary copy, and then once you have a non-legendary copy, you can copy the Spark Double copy with all your subsequent clones, so they don't go anywhere. So then you start amassing 6/6s. Also in the deck is Dax Duplicate, which gives your copy haste, and Dragon Lord Kolagon, which gives all your cards haste. There's 3 Kolagons, so hopefully at some point, oh fuck, literal best card they could hit if they have a land to go with it. That's a complete nightmare. Oh wait, I guess they would have had Chandra is played immediately. All right, so it looks like we're gonna win unless we brick here. All right, not too punished by the initial punt. Oh, there's a Spark Double, so that makes it a little worse. So this is a Demon Kraken. I'll name Demon. And because it's not in my hand, I get to use LED like a Black Lotus. And let's see what we got here. Found a Sakashima. So Sakashima is still a legend, but it's a legend named Sakashima. All right, we found a Spark Double, so now we should be able to just go nuts. Dax Duplicate copying the Spark Double because it's not a legend. And now I can copy the Dax Duplicate, which also has Dethrone and Haste in addition to not being a legend. So we're just going nuts here. All right. So I can kill off Chandra or just 12 my opponent. I think I want to kill Chandra. I guess it would have been 13ing my opponent, but I don't think they can get out of this anyway. All right, we got pretty lucky that they didn't have a 4th mana for this Karn. Yeah, so messed up real bad on that Lion's Eye Diamond. This should have happened turn 2 if I was paying attention, but it turns out that turn 4 is still probably good enough. I'm not sure what they could have to get out of this in Red Prison. And they packed it in. Okay, so if they have any meaningful disruption, it'll be an artifact. So I can bring in the Hercules recalls and the ley lines. Leyline lets me go off first. Like I can just do whatever I want to do on their turn. And it can ignore the prison pieces. But sideboarding in 6 cards when this package is already so tight, we might not need the Kolagon in this matchup. Because if we amass just a bunch of 6/6s, that's going to be good enough. The only thing we have to worry about is like Karn for Ensnaring Bridge, but we have the Hercules recalls for that. So if I'm bringing in all 3 ley lines, now I need to find room for these Hercs. I'm not sure how many clones you can cut without being a complete psycho, but probably at least 1. I like Phantasmal Image because you can just cast it to be like a Rabble Master and fight back on that axis. I think Resto Angel. So we have 2 Hercs. Probably should try to max out on that, but all right. So how many clones are actually are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, there's a ton of clones. All right, I'm gonna cut the Resto Angel. All right, let's do this. And this matchup is going to be about aggressively mulliganing to something that goes nuts. This hand is not nuts. This hand is also not nuts. This hand doesn't do anything. This one, 1, 2, 3. This is a turn 1 Gyruda on 4 cards, so it's about as good as it gets. Oh wait. So 1, 2. All right, so we actually have to draw a colored permanent for this to be a. We were mulliganing 1 card deeper than I thought. Leyline of the Void, they're going to be so disappointed in that. All right, so we just need to draw a blue card. Or a card with color. Chalice on 0 also ruins my life. Shit. All right. Now we're probably dead. I guess that's not even really true. If I just make my land drop slow and steady, like next turn I play the Cavern, the turn after that and Monolith, the turn after that if I draw a land. And Hercules Recall is great, of course. Many Morlock pieces is going to be tough to beat. They also didn't make a play with their Chrome Mox Ancient Tomb on turn 1. So they don't have Rabble Master or like Blood Moon or anything. They must have like Chandras or Karn in their hand. I think Karn is actually lights out if they produce that against me here. All right, so it's Chandra. I'll take Chandra over Karn all day. I imagine naming Kraken with Cavern is actually more stylish, but it probably doesn't matter. All right, so now we gotta avoid Karn and draw land. Chalice on 2. Okay. Land. Land. All right. Oh, Chalice on 2. They were smart. They thought of that. I believe this only copies things I control. Yes. All right. Too bad. That was a good Chalice. It did, in fact, stop my Gyruda from coming next turn. All right, Chandra can emblem next turn, so let's draw that land right now. Yes. Here we go. It's weird that they're coming out of exile. Oh, the opponent right now is currently thinking there's a bug. So Progenitor Mimic is pretty sweet because even if I have to pass this turn, it'll trigger next turn again and restart the combo. So I want Progenitor. I'm going to copy Gyruda, but keep the Progenitor. Looking for a spark double here. I guess if I find Kolagon, I just win. 2 is enough. As I could reasonably deck my opponent also. Sakashima. All right, so I'll copy Sakashima with Sakashima, and I'll keep the original one because I don't think it matters. I don't actually want multiple Progenitor Mimics because I'm worried if I have to pass the turn, I'll kill myself. All right, return Gyruda. Keep the Progenitor Mimic version. All right, come on, Spark Double, where you at? I believe there's still... Oh, no, I boarded out all my Kolagons. That was a mistake. This is my first match with the deck, so I should leave in at least one Kolagon. All right, so I'll copy Sakashima. Keep the one that's not an artifact, just in case that matters for, like, Fiery Confluence. All right, Dax duplicate. Now we're in business. So I'll copy this one and keep this one, because this one has haste. Now some spark doubles will win the game. I don't actually want to do that. This is rough. I guess getting Resto Angel and blinking the Dax duplicate is fine. So it'll come back. I lose my Progenitor Mimic, but duplicate's better anyway. I just need some spark doubles to win this game. There's one. All right, now we win. Copy the one that's not a legend. Yep, my opponent finally realized that Leyline doesn't work. So I'm attacking for 13. Oh wait, no, these all have haste. All right, now I'm attacking for lethal. And they all have dethrone also. Oh, if you copy Dax duplicate with Dax duplicate, it has double dethrone. That's nice. Wow, that was sweet. I forgot to take a screenshot. I guess I'll snag one from the video later, but they had turn 0 Leyline and turn 1 Chalice on 0 on the play, and we still won easily. That was pretty messed up. All right, we're on the draw again. Reveal our companion. Our opponent is a Gyruda deck, and we are a Gyruda deck. So Gyruda tends to go into like Bomberman kind of shells. This means that we're not playing against Chalice of the Void, because Chalice does not have any activated abilities. But it does mean we're playing against another fast combo deck. They're going to have Karn in their deck also, which is bad news. So we just got to go for speed, which is what we have to do anyway. It's not like that really changes anything. This has 4 mana on turn 1, which is not enough. We need 6. Chrome Mox gets pretty dangerous when you're taking mulligans. Like what happened last game where I thought we had it the turn 1, but then because Chrome Mox actually eats an extra card, we didn't. All right, this is certainly a lot of mana. Is it enough? We have to bottom 2 of these. So if I bottom City of Traders and Gyruda, then I have a turn 2. Yeah, I'll keep that. So Gyruda's out of here, and yeah, I think City, because my life total doesn't really matter. All right, let's just hope we don't get turn 2'd, or they don't have an early Karn, because we can't actually beat Karn at all. Oh shit, we can't beat Caracas either. I think we just lose. Is that real? This literally can't beat Caracas. I guess if they tap it, they could still lose. I guess that's not true. We don't just lose. Gyruda could hit something that comes into play as a real card. Like it could hit a second Gyruda and then we're just off. And they have to hold up Caracas every turn because we can just refire it. Ballista for 1. Okay. All right, I think we have to go for it, though. I understand that it's dangerous. Oh, Kolagon might just be able to win the game by himself if we hit that. I think I have to go for it. Like I don't really have main deck options to play around this. Time to spike a second Gyruda, but we know one is on the bottom. So we're in the danger zone. All right, saw that coming, and what did we hit? All right, that sucked. But Gyruda's still in our hand. If they tap the Caracas at some point thinking they're safe, all right, so they have infinite mana. All right, yeah, we're just dead. Yeah, they cast Zerda and then they make infinite mana. All right, that Caracas was really good. Good to know. All right, so we're on the play. So I don't think there's really any changes to make. We might bring in the Hercules recalls. But these are definitely just, I don't know, the opponent's not going to prison us out, but we might be able to buy a turn with a Herx. I actually want maximum Resto Angels still on the deck because they're a hit that actually hits through a Caracas. Definitely want all the fast mana. Maybe I just don't need these. Maybe it is just all about speed. Yeah, their deck can't play like Chalice or I don't care about Rest in Peace or Leyline, but they can't play them. It can play Mindbreak Trap. Maybe I should have a force ready. Ooh. Okay. Or the Pact. Can't play forces in this deck, unfortunately. But their deck probably has 4 Mindbreak Traps in the sideboard, so I do want to be cognizant of that. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have a turn 2. I'll keep it. I'm not sure how greedy I should be getting. Like, turn 1ing the opponent is obviously the dream, but turn 2 is pretty good because it also plays around Mindbreak Trap. They did not reveal their companion, so either they punted or they boarded into like chalices and permanents that can actually mess me up. That's really interesting. I think I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they boarded in cards that I should be worried about and not that they just misclicked on their companion. That does make me want to run out the Lotus Petal this turn, though. I don't want to just get got by Chalice on 0. All right, so they went down to 5. Turn 1 Karn is as bad as it can possibly be. Because that's always bad. Like, we're basically never going to beat a turn 1 Karn. This hand beats Mindbreak Trap. Alright, don't care about that. Unless they, like, ramp Monolith into Karn, that would get me. Okay. Their deck can't possibly play Null Rod or Stony Silence, so that's fine. Let's hope they're all in on a Rest in Peace. Containment Priest. Oh wow, that's a nightmare. Fuck. Alright, my opponent has a lot of good technology against me. They clearly thought of this. So I guess I just summon my 6/6 and hope it's good enough. Enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, so I can still cast Gyruda. Alright, so I'll name Kraken this time for style. So I don't get my clone or my graveyard triggers, but I do get a 6/6. And then next turn I can cast Sakashima. And that's still fine. And I can get another 6/6. So let's see if they can beat a 6/6 is the question. I lose to Caracas again. I've been really impressed with how this deck has tooled up against me. Swords to Plowshares. That's also pretty good. That's right, I'm holding another Gyruda. I'll get there eventually. Dax Duplicate is not a card I can actually play. So I can spend this turn untapping my Grim Monolith and next turn casting Gyruda again. Just gotta hope that they just don't do anything for a while. All right, cool. I don't even need to cast or tap my Monolith. All right, cool. Didn't even hit a creature. That's the perfect result. Oh wait, no, I did hit one, but it automatically exiled it. Gotcha. There were no decisions to make. Ballista for 1. Don't think I care about that. All right, so we can attack for 6. Oh, I don't have double blue. Never mind. Shit, that was bad. I guess I have to attack. Like, the attack wasn't bad, but because this is Cavern, Human Rogue, Shapeshifter. All right, yeah. That sucks. I need a Chrome Mox or a Lotus Petal to get this game going. All right, Basalt Monolith. So they are a Zerda away from victory. Because they boarded in Containment Priest, they can't have Zerda as a companion, but they might have one in their hand, which means they need a white source to win. See, next turn they can attack for 4, ping for 2, that's 6. So I gotta be really careful with my... Okay, sweet. That's really good. That one I can cast, and it stays in play. Restoration Angel got exiled. That's fine. So a colored mana source wins the game. Like if I draw Lotus Petal, Chrome Mox, Cavern of Souls, or Island. I guess Island doesn't kill them. A red source wins the game on the spot. A blue source just gets me another 6/6. We did mill a white source. I hope they needed that. Another Ballista. All right, so they have another blocker. So now they can block and the white source for Zerda still wins the game. Because they had to block both my creatures. But now a red source does effectively win the game because they'd have to lose their ballistas to block. Nice. Alright, that was the nuts. So I have to go to 7 to do this. I can copy the non-legendary Gyruda, and then I have a hasty dethroned Gyruda. We're not dethroning anybody, but this does force the block, which means that Zerd off the top isn't lethal anymore. They have to block them all. I'm going to go to 5 from these ballista pings. I guess they would need like Zerda plus another payoff in their hand. I guess if they're holding like Karn or something, that might do it. This also kills the Containment Priest, so I can, like, I can't go off, but it's now on the table. Like the clone party works now. So if they go White Source, Zerda, I guess they can't tap the Sanction Tomb there too. So I don't know what it would take for them to win the game at this point. Yeah, that was a really awesome game. I'm really excited about that. All right, so they showed me Containment Priest. Now I'm on the draw, so Leyland of Anticipation is on the table. So Containment Priest, Caracas. I guess Kolaghan doesn't actually answer the Caracas problem. Pact of Negation, I think, is still really good. Though, if it's Containment Priest, if they're like... they show me Swords to Plowshares also. That's important. But if they have Swords to Plowshares, that means that I need to win on my turn, because I can't just like willy-nilly Pact of Negation and hope to get it next turn, because I'll basically never be able to pay for a Pact. I'm going to have to win on the turn that I do it. All right, maybe Pact is the wrong plan for that reason, and just like getting 6/6 beatdown happening is the play. If I can spark double a Gyruda, they can't Caracas that either, because it's non-legendary. This matchup is so fun. All right, I think this is how I want to play this. All right, so this hand doesn't do anything. This hand, I can turn one Gyruda. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I guess I have to keep this and hope that it works. Like, we're not in the business of like hoping for better 5s. Like, this casts a turn 1 Gyruda. Here we are. Gotta hope they don't have a turn 1 Containment Priest again. Or Chalice on 0. We're definitely dead to Chalice on 0. All right, so I'm gonna keep and bottom Spark Double because that's the one I want in my deck the most. Not that it matters. Nothing shuffles my deck. So like we know the bottom card is Spark Double now, which is kind of the same as it not even being in the deck. But Chrome Mox tapping for blue-red is pretty cool, in case we draw another Dax duplicate at some point. All right, now they're making tough mulligan decisions. Like, they're gonna have to basically, like what we saw last game is they had a really hateful start, but they couldn't execute their own plan because they had to focus on hating me out first. And I was able to navigate through that, which I think is right. Like, it's probably right to make sure I don't go off first since I'm the more busted combo deck. But they were unable to get their own plan on board. I suspect we were white source away from losing last game the whole time, but they didn't find it. This time, they're gonna have to decide, like, hopefully the position what they're thinking about right now is like, do I go for like a turn 2 Karn or do I mulligan for a turn 1 play? I hope they don't just like have a turn 1 play. City. Star. Mox Opal. Okay. Oh no. They could Containment Priest here. Please don't. Please just cast like Grim Monolith and pass the turn. Fuck. Alright. We're on the Mono Gyruda here. They did go Hellbent to make that happen, so that's actually awesome. So blue, 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 or doesn't matter, doesn't matter. We are all in. 6-6 versus 2-2. Choose your hero. And we exiled a Spark Double. So here we are. Balls to the walls. They have a redraw in Chromatic Star. Oh my god, did they draw Swords of Plowshares? Okay, no, they were just floating mana before they starred. Maybe they'll pass the turn with no play. That would be great for me. Oh no, they can make an endless supply of 1/1 blockers for my 6/6. Alright, this game's gonna get weird. That also will keep Mox Opal on forever. Another mana source I can play Phantasmal Image though, which is the most castable card in my whole deck. So if I can ever navigate to a position where, I guess like, what do I have to do? I have to like Phantasmal Image Containment Priest just as another body and start pushing for damage. Alright, so they're pushing for damage. Really mana sources are what I'm looking for at this point. Yeah, so we're way behind now. Finding this Retrofitter Foundry off the top on the turn after they were Hellbent was really good. Like this just answers my 6/6 beatdown so perfectly. Monolith. Alright, so now if they find Zerda, they win, because they can make infinite mana and infinite Thopters. Alright, they're taking 6 here, but it doesn't look like they're worried about it. It's funny, if I can get this Monolith into play and image their Zerda, I have infinite mana. So making a servo end step instead of blocking with it, why would they do that? So they could go Zerda with one colorless floating, and then win. I guess Manifold Key also does a pretty good job of that. Yeah, they're pretty close to multiple servos. I guess this adds a point to their clock, right? Or not. Okay, that's interesting. So they can pay one to turn this into a flying creature. That's one. And then they can pay. All right. Yeah, they're a long way away from making that into a 4/4. I'll just smash into it. Oh, okay. That makes sense. They know how to sequence their deck better than I do. All right, so Chrome Mox, get rid of this Progenitor Mimic, and I'm gonna cast the Grim Monolith. So now all of my clones are live, and I know I can cast this one anyway. So if they do make a 4/4, I can make my own 4/4 with Phantasmal Image. All right, the Construct does not have flying, so I can block that if I need to. And now I can cast Progenitor Mimic if I ever draw one. All right, so they're going to make a 4/4 here, and I'm going to copy it. They can just kill this with Manifold Key, but I have to hope that they don't notice that. They played pretty well though, so they'll probably notice it immediately. Or not. All right, I'll take it. This thing's been so good. And I did not board in my Hercules recalls, so this is just going to work. Like, drawing to Hercules recall would have been nice here. I mean, like, Spark Double is probably one of my best draws, as usual. But two of them are already gone. One's on the bottom of my deck and one's in exile. So Sakashima's pretty good. Plow, I can take 7 here. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we're actually just dead. Yeah, the opponent did a really cool thing where they boarded in out of being a companion deck to increase their sideboard options, which is not a thing that my deck can do, but it's definitely interesting and worth thinking about in deck design for other companion decks. That was an awesome match. I'm surprised how much play there was. We're on the play for the first time. All right, so this hand only makes 3 mana. No chance. This hand also only makes 3 mana. And Cavern is really tempting against an unknown opponent, but not like tempting enough for a turn 4 Gyruda. That's probably not good enough in Legacy in general. This is a turn 1 Gyruda, so I'm going to keep it. Bottom. This and this. Alright, we're dead to any counterspell, but we beat any not counterspell. If they have a Force of Will, they could point it at LED. Because it's dangerous not to force the LED. Like, if you have a Force, and I just go, like, Cavern, you, like, think you're going to force the Gyruda instead, and I just play Cavern here. And I just gotta hope they have literal nothing, because that's what I have too. Moment of truth. We're either getting slow rolled, or the opponent, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're double queuing. Alright, it resolved. Let's go to the races. Alright, so their depths. Well, you hit Spark Double on the first hit, that's insane. Alright, we should easily win this turn. Unless they don't know what my deck does, they probably should have conceded in response to the first trigger, because now I know that they're a Merit Lage deck. And I'm just going to see their whole deck along the way here. They should scoop this up if they don't have a plan. Sakashima. Alright, so now I can start copying the haste one, and I should win easily from here. This is so dumb. And they're not a Force of Will deck, so that's great. They are a Thoughtseize deck. Gotta watch out for that on the draw. Oh, I can put Vampire Hexmage into play. I love that. Alright, I can Dax duplicate my Dax duplicate, meaning that I have double Dethrone and double haste. Oh, I had to take a Hexmage, that's funny. And make my opponent dead. Sweet. Alright, so they are depths. They're gonna have like Bajuka Bog, which doesn't matter. They're gonna have Caracas and Thoughtseize. Alright, so Caracas is scary. Progenitor Mimic can go. Phyrexian Metamorph is the most fragile of the clones because it's also an artifact. This deck is pretty good at cloning Merit Lage too. Any creature. Alright, so Spark Double only copies my own creatures, but everything else can copy a Merit Lage if it has to. I like Resto Angel because it has flying, so I can just put one into play and block Merit Lage for a turn if I need to. Maybe I cut a Chrome Mox because I'm bringing in Leylines. Maybe not. Maybe I can just never cut mana. That's bad. Stop it. I'll cut a Sakashima. Maybe it's Kolagon. Like Kolagon, like Dax Duplicate makes Kolagon kind of redundant. It's just like an extra thing you can do. So I'm gonna cut a Kolagon, stick with the duplicates. All right, let's have a sweet ley line of anticipation game where we just win before they get a turn. I got half of my wish. There is a ley line in the hand, but there's no. I don't even have the mana to cast Gyruda on any turn. Nope. Two, three, four. So my next mulligan is to 4. Because I have to go there. Oh god, it's getting worse. Alright, I have to keep these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so we're Thoughtseize proof. And we have a very slow plan to get there. It's funny that we went from the turn 1 win to the turn someday maybe win. Nice duress, got him. That'll teach you. My best draw is probably Grim Monolith. No, my best draw is LED. The best draw in this deck is always LED. Alright, I'm gonna lead on the basic because sometimes we saw Ghost Quarter out of them, but sometimes they also have Wasteland, and I don't want to just like get wasted back several turns of development. And any land drop means that Lion's Eye Diamond is a Gyruda next turn. They could go like Dark Depths Hexmage here, and then we're in trouble. Then it becomes LED or bust. Maybe they'll Thoughtseize me again. That would be great. Him to Turok would not be great. Alright, there's the Hexmage. Do they have the Dark Depths? Looks like no. Oh, they don't have a land at all. They kept their hand on the strength of... Ooh, that's really good. They kept their hand on the strength of Duress. So now we have Gyruda next turn, and we'll see what their technology is. They might have like a crop rotation in their hand, and they just set this up for next turn, like pass with Hexmage and then crop rotate. I hope they're going to try to rotate for Bajuka Bog. I hope that's their plan. Though rotate for Karakas is pretty bad. Though I have the mana to just keep recasting Gyruda. Eventually it'll hit something that can't be Karakas. Alright, and boom goes the dynamite. Let's see what they got. Rotation for Karakas is the scariest thing that they can do here, I think. Looks like that's the plan. Though even if they have that, Gyruda still has a chance to hit something else here. Like any clone can copy Hexmage. If I hit a second Gyruda, I can continue going off. Hit Dax duplicate. Alright, whatever. I'll dethrone you a little bit. My Hex Mage is large. And I can just Gyruda again next turn. Like if they tap the Caracas, or if they... Like even if they don't tap the Caracas, I can just keep spewing and like getting more Hex Mages and just go wider than them pretty quickly. God, I love Dax Duplicate. I don't know if I've ever even cast that card, or even fully read it before this league, but it's currently my favorite card in this deck. Ghost Quarter. So they don't have green or black mana, which are the colors of their deck. They could like Ghost Quarter their Caracas to get green and then crop rotate into Dark Depths and then win. But they would have to be really patient for that plan to work. Okay, they're being patient in the other direction. All right, they just love being on the throne. So my dethrones will trigger. All right, Gyruda, let's do it. Let's hit another Gyruda this time and just embarrass this Caracas. Another Dax duplicate. Oh, it's gonna have double dethrone. They're gonna have Merit Lage next turn though. Though they have to tap their Caracas to make that happen. So maybe they just won't have Merit Lage next turn, and I get to spew another Gyruda. So they have to figure out how to navigate all of this by... Okay, that's the solution. I was about to say they have to navigate keeping Caracas up and producing Dark Depths, but just drawing Dark Depths certainly fits the bill. I guess, no, that doesn't matter. I was going to say I can attack for first to force some action, but that actually just doesn't even matter because they're at 9. All right, that's cool with me. I guess they don't know about the Grim Monolith. I do. But they do have exactly what they need here to stop my Gyruda and make Merit Lage. Oh, okay. Hitting Ancient Tomb was actually really smart because if I tapped Ancient Tomb before combat, then attacked, they would have had to block and make Merit Lage on my turn where I could easily clone it. I'm not sure if they planned for all that, but it worked out that way. Definitely smart. Yeah, so somehow Ancient Tomb just became the best draw in my deck. That's funny. Reduplicate. That might have been good in another world, but we're just going to have to jam Gyruda and hope it hits like Kolagon or another Gyruda or Resto Angel. All right, let's do it. Payoff. Spark Double, Sakashima, Dak Duplicate. Nope, none of those do it. Alright, so we were 1 damage short of being able to win this game. Alright, yep, we're dead. Alright, now we're on the play. Things get a lot better there. We don't need Leyline anymore. So we can bring in... I don't think I want packs. Maybe I do. Like, are they gonna have Mind Break Trap? I hope not. Alright, so I'll bring in the packs, and I'll bring back in another Kolagon. Is that the play? Kolagon also gets hit by Caracas. Maybe it's just Metamorph as one of the more castable clones in the deck. Alright, of course we're going to play first, reveal the companion. And, this is 1 mana short of being a turn 1. So what can happen here if I keep this? So if I play City of Traders Lion's Eye Diamond, and they Thoughtseize me, that means they can't crop rotation. And if they leave up a land for crop rotation, I can Pact of Negation. I'm actually going to keep this, even though that might be questionable. Like, Thoughtseize doesn't actually slow me down at all, because they can't take the land. I'm going to play the LED, and I don't care about the rest of this stuff. I guess we'll see. The thing that could like actually just crush me is if they just go Caracas go. Like no crop rotation, no disruption, just Caracas go is the worst thing they can do to me. I don't even care about like Ghost Quarter because then I still end up with 6 mana. I guess like Nature's Claim on Lion's Eye Diamond would be absolutely brutal. Ooh, alright. Force of Vigor also fits the bill. That sucks. Alright, we might have just lost to that. Yeah, so their job is to just bring in any 0 mana disruption they can find. Dark Depths, Lotus Petal. So they had to pitch a Spirit Guide to make this happen. Let's just draw LED and win anyway. How about that? That's not LED. Alright. Bad times here. It's likely I should have mulliganed. And Chrome Mox is really bad against Force of Vigor because it just always gets hit. Sylvan Scrying, probably for Urborg. I guess it depends. Like, yeah, alright, Urborg makes sense. So we have 2 turns to draw Lion's Eye Diamond here. Alright, Lotus Petal's a good one. Alright, I'll play that out to avoid discard spells. But now we just need a Chrome Mox, Lotus Petal, or LED to win. Okay, good. They wasted time duressing me. If they had just not done that and made a 20/20 this turn, they would have won for sure. Or, like, this gives me another turn to try to draw the mana source. Unless they have Lotus Petal or Spirit Guide, then they can still make it their 20/20. I guess Hex Mage also does it. All right, now is the time. Let's draw Lotus Petal, Chrome Mox, or LED. So many outs. Fuck. All right, we are dead to their 20/20. Yeah, so their hand had Force of Vigor and Duress in it. I think it was right to play around Duress by playing out the LED, but it just happened to crush us. Maybe I should have mulliganed this. All right, they got me. One colored mana short. All right, on to the next one. Live and Die by the Belcher. All right, we're on the draw for round 4. Never where you want to be. We're playing against a Luris deck. So it could be Storm or Delver. My hand does not go fast enough. Oh shit, did I just click keep? I just accidentally kept this hand. That doesn't do anything. Whoops. All right, we will see how this goes. They mulled a 5. All right, they are Storm. It looks like Epic Storm. Yeah, so like, I need an island pretty bad here. Just Thoughtseize me. Oh no. All right, so they have their 3/2 in play. Gotcha. That was really good, actually. So if I play the island first, I think that's better. Because I'm going to want that city eventually. City doesn't make blue. I guess if I went city monolith, then next turn I would have been able to win if I draw any blue source. Wishclaw Talisman. All right. Oh shit. And they can activate it. All right. The backup Gyruda is not really what I was looking for here. All right, so I need a blue source. If they activate Wishclaw Talisman, I'll have it. But also if they activate Wishclaw Talisman, I probably just die. They're beating in with their mighty 3/2 here. All right, deck, give me the blue source. Let's do it. Shit. All right, now I'm almost certainly dead. I'm so mad I kept this hand by accident. All right, still need a blue source. All dressed up with nowhere to go here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to be at 31 life, so in my end step, they can search for Ad Nauseam and just draw their whole deck. So we need a blue source right now. Damn it. God, this sucks so bad. I don't get grumpy about like losing games, but definitely losing because I misclicked sucks real hard. Alright, so they can wish for ad nauseum and cast it from 32 if they want. Or they could probably just wish for like Burning Wish and then tendrils me out. Well, they have to win right now, but I'm sure it's like deterministic at this point with me at 5 life. Ugh. Okay. Does that matter? What does that even do? That was really bad, right? So now I win? So I search my deck for blue mana. I think just an island will do at this point. Okay, let's win. Spark double on the first hit. We like it. Dax duplicate, yes please. Now we have haste in the party. Got to do a lot of damage. Got to attack for 32. Oh my god, it bricked. I did all that work to brick. Come on. Ugh. That's frustrating. I got misclicked, got super unlucky for a while, got super lucky, opponent punted, and then our combo just bricked. Absolute misery. So they have Echo of Aeons they can cast from the graveyard. They have Defense Grid for some reason when Gyruda means you can't cast any forces. Yep. Didn't even mill anything important. That was sad. That was so sad. Is missing on the combo that we shouldn't have had access to anyway. I'm gonna let them play it out. They have already made enough mistakes this match that I'm willing to believe they might make another one. Though I don't know how you could make any additional mistakes. You literally just have to wish for tendrils. All right, multiple main deck defense grids is weird. Maybe it's not weird. Maybe that's just what this deck is playing now. And wish for tendrils. Okay, they found the line eventually. All right, let's keep a hand this time. Keep a hand that we're supposed to keep this time. Just the punt apocalypse there. I don't think Harkle's recall matters. So Kolagon doesn't really matter. Resto Angel, and Phantasmal Image probably. I guess Resto is better than Sakashima. I guess they're kind of the same, but also like slightly different enough that I think Restoration Angel is better because the second Resto Angel stays in play as a 3/4, but the second Sakashima doesn't stay in play. Like the first Sakashima is a 6/6 over a 3/4, but the second one just goes away. Oh, I guess I can keep it in anyway. Maybe I want Phantasmal Image over Sakashima though, because if I can copy Luris and play my own Lion's Eye Diamonds out of the graveyard, that's pretty messed up. Okay, let's go. And this time I will make correct mulligan decisions, I hope. Alright, so this is a turn 2. Is that good enough? I guess I'll keep it. I'm still not sure how hard I'm supposed to be shoving for turn 1. Like Epic Storm is really good at doing something big on turn 1. But this dodges discard. And they played around counter magic in game 1 like a lot, like to their own detriment. So hopefully they don't just go for it here. They can make goblins. I think I can still beat goblins. All right, I love Ponder. Big fan of Ponder. So I think I should play the... So the decision, assuming that we get to my turn and I get to do what I want, is Ancient Tomb or City of Traders. Ancient Tomb, every time I tap Ancient Tomb, they need one less storm to kill me with tendrils. But if I don't just go off and win this turn, City... But I'm discarding my hand to LED anyway. So I guess I'll have to regrow. Like, I can't count on any... All of these won't be in my hand come my turn. So I'm going to play the Ancient Tomb. And hope that they don't destroy my LED right now. Dark Ritual. I hope this is just Luris. Okay, good. And they can Thoughtseize me if they want. But please don't Dark Ritual again. Alright. Neat. It's go time. Alright, let's not brick this time. How about that? Alright, so Dax duplicate, copy this, keep the one with haste. Looking for a spark double. Oh my god, we bricked again? Jesus Christ. I don't know what the math on that is, but it's not high. So we also just filled their graveyard with Lion's Eye Diamond for Luris to regrow. Hopefully this giant chunk of damage will deny them ad nauseum as an out. This has been an embarrassing match for this deck. Like, hitting its own fail rate twice, which is unlikely. I'm not a statistician, but it does not seem that that should happen. All right, so they attacked. I guess they were at 6, so they had to attack because they were dead to cold gun anyway. So attacking also takes 1 storm off of the tendrils. All right, I like that they're searching with Ponder. We can still cast LED from the graveyard. So we gotta watch out for that. They can still explode on mana, but they probably would have wanted to do that, like play LED, Ponder, crack LED in response to Ponder to try to find something. Because now whatever they ponder into, they're not going to be able to spend LED mana on. They did not shuffle, so that must have been good. That one, I don't think that came from the graveyard, did it? I think that came from the hand. All right, so if they Burning Wish, Storm is 5, then they can Tendrils. It's 5, 6, 7. So Tendrils is not quite lethal here. They could just get like Echo of Aeons or something. Yeah, they did. All right, that's probably really, really bad for me. I'm unlikely to survive this one. Though stranger things have happened. I might draw a Mindbreak Trap. I did not, of course. All right, so I attacked them to 6 on their turn, on my first turn, where if I had generated even one more Gyruda, it would have been lethal. So we just got super unlucky in this match. So they have Wishclaw Talisman. They should be able to figure this out with that, I would think. All right, Brainstorm here is kind of weird. You don't do that if your hand can already kill the opponent, unless you just have so much mana and they're so dead that you might as well make it a little cleaner. Oh, they had another Echo. Okay. Off we go again. Let's draw Mindbreak Trap. Still didn't draw Mindbreak Trap. All right, 2 LEDs means that they can Wishclaw Talisman for Burning Wish and then Wish for Tendrils and still win. Frustrating. Or they just had Burning Wish with the Wishclaw Talisman still hanging out. Grape Shot. All right. So I misclicked game 1 and still almost won into their punt, and I just got super unlucky game 2. That sucks. Bad showing, but is what it is. The deck does have a fail rate. You can, in fact, mill 4 cards without a clone in them. You just hope that it happens later rather than sooner, and it doesn't happen twice in the same match. All right, one more to try to salvage half our money back in this league. All right, we're on the play for the last round. That's good. Reveal our Demon Kraken. And, oh, we're playing against Kira, the Orphan Guard. And we have a turn 2 Gyruda. I'm gonna keep this. This is probably like Cat Stompy, which is a deck that I saw Phil Gallagher posting about recently. Phil Gallagher is a meme expert, meme deck expert. I'm gonna run out the Ancient Tomb because I'm gonna get got by Wasteland anyway, and I kind of don't care if they spend a turn doing that. We got past the Chalice on 0, which is the first fear. We don't care about like any Thorn of Amethyst type effects. Wasteland would be the meanest thing they could do here, I think. Just kidding. The cursed Caracas. Let's hope they don't realize how good that is against me and just cast some spell here. Please cast a 2-mana spell. Is that Risen Reef? Oh my god. Alright, so I actually think Ancient. Nope. I was gonna say Ancient Tomb is better, but it's not. So I'm gonna name Kraken. I'll name Demon. My fingers drifted towards the D before the K on my keyboard. That's my tiebreaker. I'm gonna exile Sakashima and then hope that this works. Caracas is so good against this deck. Alright, let's just hit another Gyruda immediately. Oh my god, they did it wrong. Team, they did it wrong. They didn't bounce. Now we can just win instead of just lose. You're saying there's a chance. Oh, I got a Leonin Arbiter out of their graveyard. Hit my fail rate again. Wow. So they can bounce both of these now with Caracas because I only got the one. That sucks. Maybe the deck's fail rate is higher than I thought. I would think with... Alright, so there's 1, 2, 3, 7, 11, 15, 18. There's 22 clones in the deck, so like on average, 1 out of every 3 cards is a clone. And that's not good enough. Oh, they can't bounce this one. Never mind. Spark Double coming in clutch. Alright, so I have a 7/7 in play. Let's see what it does. Risen Reef. I'm very excited about that. Ooh. That's really good. Because it makes a non-legendary copy, so they can't Caracas me. If they have Swords to Plowshares, they'll get me here. Though I imagine this is a Stompy deck. So they only have Chalice instead of the other options. Or instead of 1-mana removal. Alright, you can bounce that one. That's allowed. Alright, good. We found a Dax duplicate. Now we're doing it. Alright. Yeah, they messed up that first turn and that cost them the game. I'll take those. I'm not too proud. Alright, so Hurkyl's Recall, Leyline of Anticipation. Dragon Lord, also pretty bad against Caracas. I'm not even sure Kolaghan is necessary if Dax Duplicate is one of the clones in your deck. I kind of Frankenstein this list together between multiple lists that I saw. One of them had Altered Ego instead of Dax Duplicate, and it had Force of Vigor in the sideboard, because between Progenitor Mimic, Leyline of Life Force, and Altered Ego, you actually had some green cards to pitch to it. But I cut those for Dax Duplicate because I think Haste is way better. And I'm not sure that Kolaghan is necessary if you have the duplicate package. So Surprising amount of deck building nuance in this ridiculous deck. Um, they might have Chalice on 0 this game, but that's why I'm bringing in the ley lines. Resto Angel, I think I want to have that because that's more likely to. That's a hit that sticks around if they have Caracas. Alright, so I'll bring in 2 Hercs. I don't want to go too low on clones. Maybe I'm just being gun shy after my poor luck in the past couple games, but that's what I'm doing. I do need to be able to win if they give me a window to do that. Okay, so this hand does not do anything. It's getting mulliganed. This hand also doesn't do anything. Still bad. This one goes real slow. Mulligan to 3. I would keep 4 of these. I could just keep the 4 lands and try to play this slow and steady. I'm not sure if going to 3 is going to be better, so I'm doing this even though it's really not what I want to be doing. But being on the play game 1, like winning game 1, I'm going to be at a bit of a disadvantage for game 2 anyway, so luckily we have the game 3 on the play left to pad our stats here. Kinjali Sunwing. That's pretty good. Chalice on 0 is also pretty good. Deafening Silence. Okay. All of those stop me from going off on turn 1, which I was not going to be doing anyway. Life from the Loam. Oh, baby. They're taking it slow from here. Alright, so Grim Monolith probably my best draw. Alright, so I'm going to play a Cavern because that lets me... Or no, never mind. It doesn't matter. They have Chalice on 0. So all of my mana artifacts don't matter. Grim Monolith is the way I can speed this up. Alright, so they're just loaming over there. I can't imagine that's good. Unless they have like Karn next turn. But even that is not like the best thing I've ever seen. Alright, so I can Gyruda next turn. Unless they wasteland me. That might be what they're doing with this loam, just aggressively looking for wasteland. Oh, they found one, damn it. Now we're gonna lose. Yeah, I think if we faded wasteland this turn, we would have won. I hope they go after the tomb though. Alright, good. My colored mana is precious. Alright, I guess we can just do this dance for a little while. And I gotta hope that I find Grim Monolith along the way. Alright, let's do that again. So we're seeing Trinispheres, Chalices. Definitely a stompy deck. Ugh. This is so miserable. This Life from the Loam plan somehow is just crushing our Belcher deck. Alright, I'm glad they keep going after the soul lands. I am going to need this double blue eventually. I am also just like basically dead though. Spawn Wraith, wow, that's a sweet card. Bant Kahira Stompy. Impressive stuff. Oh, right on time, Grim Monolith, thanks for showing up. Now that it's too late. Now that they can waste off one of my blue sources this turn. And they hit a second wasteland, so now they can actually develop. Like, they can loan back 2 wastelands, and then they have one ready for the next turn. Alright. I've seen enough here. Alright, so they needed their shit to line up pretty perfectly there to matter, and it worked out, so good for them. I guess I'll bring all my clones back in. Now that I'm on the play, just maximum degeneracy is where I want to be. I still have 2 Hercs. Do I want a 3rd Herc? So they did show me Trinisphere and Chalice. I might want all 3 Hercules recalls. This Metamorph is still the worst one. Okay, let's go. Let's just have a clean turn 1 Insano win. 1, 2, 3, 4 mana, not enough. This is so close. So I could chase this a little deeper. This is a turn 2. I'm gonna mulligan. I'm on the play. This is the last one. Last round. This hand doesn't do anything. Alright, they kept 6. I'll go to 4. Just show me 2 LEDs. So again, Chrome Mox doesn't work. Going to 3. God damn it. Going to 2. 2 LEDs, 2 LEDs. And we've literally mulliganed to Oblivion. Guess I have to keep the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I kept the Chrome Mox because if I draw a colored source, like I might, like I need colored mana somewhere, and I also need fast mana. Maybe that was just horrible. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this league went from a lot of fun to no fun very quickly. Alright, there's something. Now I feel really stupid for keeping Chrome Mox. Like the Mulda, like any clone I draw would have been better off as a land. So I don't feel bad about that. I am excited they're gonna go off with Spawn Wraith against me though. So like basically what we needed there in order was Hercules Recall into Lion's Eye Diamond, and they can't have Wasteland. Alright, so now I need Grim Monolith into Blue Source, and they can't have Wasteland. Fuck. Alright, so Hercules Recall off the top. I have 2 floating, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hercules Recall off the top does get it. Not anymore. I would have to deck them outright. Alright, so Hurkyl's Recall off the top does do it. Wait, no, it doesn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I'm still one short with Hurkyl's Recall off the top. What am I even talking about? Yeah, just dead. Just mulligan to Oblivion there. Maybe I should have kept the 6-card hand that had a turn 2 Gyruda, but I don't know. Like, I'm not an expert on Belcher decks, so I don't know how greedy you're supposed to be. Like, turn 2 is pretty good, but like it's bad against Wasteland and Collector Oof and all those things. All right. An unexciting end to what started out to be a fun league, the 1-4. I'm kind of glad we did so poorly with this deck, because if this deck was actually good, I'd be disappointed. So we played against a lot of Caracas, and even against the non-Force of Will opponents, just like normal interaction, just like removal works to break up this combo, which makes it a lot worse than traditional Belcher if you're looking for that kind of thing. I think Dax Duplicate is one of the most important, like in order of clone importance. I think it's first Spark Double, then Dax Duplicate, then everything else. Kolagon might not be necessary when you have duplicates in your deck. So this is 3 deck building slots that can just open up right away if you're on duplicate. Maybe like Sorcerer's Spyglass in the sideboard for Caracas might be something. Trying to figure out like how to make the mana more consistent too. Like opening hands with Lion's Eye Diamond are insane, and opening hands without Lion's Eye Diamond all suck. And there's not much in between. So looking for more ways to accelerate your mana. I saw one build with Mox Opal, and it had like artifact lands in it. So between like the Monolith Petal, Chrome Mox, and Lion's Eye Diamond, and then it had Seed of the Synod instead of Island. Like Mox Opal might be somewhere to go to get faster mana. But in general, like there's a surprising amount of tweaking you can do with this list, while at the same time making very little changes. They're all like small ways to optimize the list, but in general, like you're gonna have to resolve a Gyruda and it's gonna have to do its thing. I was impressed with how much play we had in the deck though. Like when they do get to disrupt your combo on the fair level, but then like you have like 2/6/6s or whatever versus their removal and their plan, that was kind of interesting. Mulligans are brutal. It's a glass cannon, disruptible by everything. I will probably never play this deck again, but I'm glad I played it once, and I'm sure you're going to see it out there in the world. This is the type of deck people are going to want to try. So I hope you draw many turn 1 Caracases, because that seems to be the best way to disrupt it. Thanks for watching. Hit the sub button. Follow me on Twitter at Bosch and Roll. If you like written content and sideboard guides, that kind of stuff, join my Patreon. And thanks for watching. See you next time. Later.